Okay, what's up everyone? What we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to read a tape measure. So here's my tape measure. There's a 6-inch ruler here as well and a mini square. So there's different measuring tools that we will be using this year. But for today, I'm going to teach you how to use or read a tape measure, which is the most important tool you could learn in the shop, or the most important tool that you could bring to a job site is knowing how to use a tape measure. So the first thing we're going to look at in this tape measure is, if you take a look at the tape, you'll see that the whole numbers here, these big numbers, are in black. They're the inches, right? So 19 inches, 20 inches, 21 inches. And I assume everyone knows how to read that. Now, what I'm more concerned about is that you know how to read the lines that are not labeled. The small lines in between, let's say, the 19 and the 20. So each one of these, from say here to here, and there's all these little tick marks in between. So what I'm going to do is let you know that there's 15 tick marks in between each line or each inch. So this little bitty inch, which is an inch, I'm going to just blow up here, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 line segments. And what we're going to do is I'm going to help identify each one of the smaller lines and give you a good sense of how to read the tape measure. Alright, so let me try to figure out where to put this. Okay, so put that right there for now. Alright, so if you look in between the tape measure, like I said, there's 15 lines in between each whole number. Alright, so let's take this first line segment here. So I want you to draw these 6 lines. They're all equal distance. I got about 4 lines separating each one. We'll call this the inch. Okay, so let's say that this is the beginning, like that's, say, 19 inches, that first mark, and this is the end. So let's say 20. So I'll bring this up, and I'll bring this up. So this is the beginning. So let's say 19 inches, and this is 20 inches. Okay, so there's 1 inch from here to here. Now it's magnified, obviously, but there's nothing in between yet here, even though there are those 15 lines. So we're going to read what's in between. So the first one, this first line, so I'm just going with the whole number on this first line. So then the second line, we're going to start adding some information in between, that important information in between. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this line up, extend this line up, and then again, I'll put the whole numbers because they don't change. So the next thing we're going to do, that's a little different, is we're just going to cut this line segment in half. So let's just put this one right about there. So what do we want to name this? We want to name this line segment. Well, that looks a little off. Let's try to get it more centered. Like right there. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect, but I'll try to make it as nice as possible. And let's make these a little higher. Okay. The whole lines, if you look here, the whole lines are really long compared to the other lines, so we'll make these ones, say, 2 lines tall. Okay, so these are 2 lines tall. Okay, now this line, make it 1.5. We're going to label it. Okay, we'll label it half the distance between here and here, because it's half the distance, so we'll call that one 1/2. Easy, right? All right, so this one's done. So where's 1/2 in between the 19 and the 20? It's this So the second longest line, the 19 and the 20, those whole number lines are really long, and then the half-inch line is second long. So I have that line done. Let's transfer it down. Okay, let's go to the next one. So here and here, we're going to label this 19, label this 20, and how I know this is in inches, I can put the inch, this is like a parentheses, those two marks means we're counting in inches, so I'll do that here. So anytime you see two marks, you know that we're in inches. Okay, so now I'm going to transfer that middle line again. Okay, so 1/2. All right, so now we're going to add information. So here between the 19 and 20, you can see that there's these lines that are the third longest. Okay, so what's the distance between here and here? That would be half again, right? So half the distance between 19 and 19.5. So we're going to put a mark right here. And then we're going to put another mark, half the distance between the half and the 20. Okay, so look what we did. We've just divided this line into two. 1, 2. So this is the first line out of 2 total to get to 20. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines to get to 20. So we can label this one 1/4. Okay, inches. And we can label this one 1, 2, 3 out of 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. So now we have quarters or fourths. Now I can just bring this one straight down because it stays at 1/2. That name doesn't change. So again, the whole numbers don't change either as we go down the scale. So let's keep going. Let's just put all the information again. Oops, I like my extra tall lines here at the end. I'm going to bring this line down. I'm going to bring this line down. I'm going to bring this line down. I'm going to label this 1/2. I like color coding it for you. It's a little easier to read, I think. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to divide those in half again. So what I did for you just now is the 19 in between the 19 and 20 again. So we added, here's the half, here's the 1/4, here's the half, here's the 3/4, and here's the whole at 20. Okay, so now we're here. Now we need to add halfway in between the 19 and the 19 and 1/4. So let's do another line here. Okay, here. We're just dividing those spaces up evenly. Okay, so let's count how many lines total there are. We're not going to count this. This is the starting point. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines to get to the next whole number. So we know we're in eighths. So we're going to count this first one as 1. So this is 1 out of the 8 marks to get to the next whole number. This one already has a name. It's 1/4. We could also call it 2/4 if we wanted to, but reduced down, it's 1/4. So the next line is 1, 2, 3. 3/8. Okay, this would be 4/8, also known as 1/2. The next one is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 eighths, reduced down is 3/4. Next is 7. 7 what? Eighths. Okay, and then this final one would be 8/8, but we already have it reduced down to its whole number. All right, so we're going to do the next one. So let's just transfer everything down. So I'm going to just transfer everything down. Notice the length of my lines. Okay, the lengths of my lines are important because if you look on the tape measure, the lengths of the lines are important. Okay, so the longest lines are whole numbers. The second longest lines are halves. The third longest lines are quarters. The fourth longest lines are eighths. And the fifth longest lines are going to be little guys here in between, which are sixteenths. Okay, so this is what your tape measure looks like right here. So I have 19 and 20. So this is what your tape measure looks like. On a job site, we expect you to know what all those lines mean in between each inch. It's the same for each space, but we expect you to know what these are. So now's your chance to learn it if you haven't learned it yet. So we already know the names of most of these, right? We can just say, okay, well, Mr. Sid, I already know that this is 1/2. All right, you just taught me that. I know that this one, half of 1/2, is actually 1/4. Okay, and then this one you taught me, that's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. All right, so I'm learning how to read a tape measure. I think I got this. This one we said 1/2 of 1/4 is 1/8. So the distance from here to here is 1/4. Half of that distance is 1/8. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so we're counting by eighths. 1, 2, 3, okay, 4, 5, okay, 6, and then 7. So I just covered that twice. Now let's get into the 16th. So I'm going to write them down here because I'm running out of space. So what's the name for this one? I'll do this in blue. That one. 1/16. What? Why? Why is it 1/16? Because it's 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 to get to the whole number. So that's 1/16. This one, 3/16. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. What's this one? 5/16. 6/16. 7/16. 8/16 is 1/2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8/16. So this next one, 9/16. 10, 11/16. 12, 13. 16ths. 14. Oops, I got like a little 1 there. I should probably put these little deep, deep, deep. Okay. And 15/16. And there you go. So now I have my tape measure. I should probably color code all these, shouldn't I? I should make this black. Okay. I should make this black. Okay. Make this one, I think I like this. Make this purple. Alright. Make this green. My quarters. Alright, now it would be cool if a ruler was this colorful, but then you wouldn't really know how to read one without it. Okay, there we go. Now, so for my Wood 1 students, this is all you need. I want you to make this, take a picture of it, and post it in the assignment. For my advanced students, I want you to, stop moving pens, I want you to do one more line, and I want you to give me this final line in decimal, all 16 or 16ths in decimals. So between here and here, you should have, this is for my advanced class, you should have the 15 lines plus the final line. And let's say this is 19, this is 20, and this would be, instead of 1/2, would be 0.5, and so forth. So I want my advanced students to give me the decimal, but for my Wood 1 students, we'll stick with this. Okay, good luck.